Hi everyone, this is Tamur and welcome to my channel, The Cloud Security Guy, where we talk about things on cloud security, cybersecurity, and artificial intelligence risks. So I wanted to touch on a topic which is PCI DSS version 4.0, the key changes and the new requirements which have come out. Now, PCI DSS was a topic I talked about in my earlier video here, and I'll link it also. But shortly after that, the PCI Council, they released the new version of the standard, the version 4.0, and that was a very nice coincidence. So I thought it would be a good idea to go through the new changes which have come up. It would be timely to just summarize the changes and the evolution of the new standard, and what all of us can do to be ready for compliance for this new standard. So I thought it would be a good idea. It'll nicely complement the earlier video I made just a while back. Before we proceed, guys, please do like and subscribe to this channel. It will really help the channel grow and reach more and more people and benefit as much as possible. Okay, so just a very quick recap, guys. If you haven't watched my previous video or you don't know what PCI DSS is, it's a global standard that provides, technical and operational requirements, security requirements for cardholder security. If you're storing, processing, transmitting cardholder data, you need to comply with it. The new version has just come out, 4.0. It replaces the older 3.2.1 version, and it's gradually going to be implemented over a period of, I think, around 2 years. It's going to take place. So if you want to get like more, if you are more interested in PCI DSS and how you can implement in the cloud, then this video is not for you. I've already made a video on that. You can watch that and you get a better idea. But this is more on the new version which has come out. So I mentioned it's going to get implemented in a phase way. So just to make sure, you can look at this diagram, which is, so the standard itself, the new one, is going to be optional until 31st March 2024, 2 years. And then the older version, 3.21, 2.1, it will get retired. So after that, your audits are going to happen against PCI DSS version 4 only. Some of the new requirements which have come out, they won't become mandatory until March 31st, 2025. So it's a best practice. So you have till 2024 to understand and roll out the new requirements. And assessors, the auditors who audit against the standard, they can start checking companies against the new standard also. So 2 years, it may seem like a lot, and you're thinking, okay, I have enough time, but please do not put this off. I would suggest you start preparing for the transition now. Time goes by very, very fast. I've been through this before, and suddenly priorities come up and you forget. So do focus on this standard now if you're a cardholder environment. I used to work in a cardholder processor for the past 10 years. So I know how fast things can change and how difficult it can be to change this, internal processes and requirements. So start preparing for this now. Okay, so we talked about there have been a lot of changes which have come up. I'm going to focus on the new ones. If you want to like a detailed like checklist of what has changed, you can go and check out the summary of changes document in the PCI website. It can be a bit boring, but you can check that out. Just to look at a few of the key changes, so it's like a big evolution over the previous standard, and some of the changes which have happened. Expansion of the requirements of MFA. Previously MFA used to be for admin access or like remote access, but now it's for all cardholder access into the cardholder environment. The password length has been increased. This was a funny thing with PCI. The minimum password length was like 7 characters. Now it's been increased. And so interestingly enough, some of the terminology has been changed also. So previously the firewall terminology, it used to say that firewalls and routers. Now it just says network security controls, because the technology has evolved. So this outdated technology is being replaced. Similarly, antivirus technology terminology has been replaced with anti-malware, because there's a broader list of technologies which are being used to combat malware. So it's a good like improvement of what they've done to accommodate the current number of like products and technologies that are there in the market. And one thing which is very interesting, guys, which is going to be a big challenge, it's a more focus on assessing risk. So they have introduced something called customized controls. Just to give you an overview, in the previous versions, when you could not meet like the requirement of PCI, you have to propose a compensating control and document it. Because like if they said that you have to encrypt the card data and you could not do it, you had to create a compensating control, right? And you had to like give the justification and everything. That can still go on, but now the new version, it proposes something called customized controls. What it is, it proposes you can propose a new control that meets the requirement of that control you could not meet. And in this scenario, you're not compensating for the lack of control, but instead you're implementing another control that is meeting the PCI objective. Now that control will be assessed by the PCI auditor, and there are some requirements for that. So this is a great solution for companies who could not meet the PCI requirements, but they had mature risk management processes and they were very innovative. So it's a very good control, and it needs to undergo like a targeted risk analysis every 12 months. You need to have approval. So there is a process, but it gives you a lot more flexibility. When it comes to accounts and identities, again, now they have like given you allowances for group, shared, and generic accounts. Authenticated scanning. If you are doing internal vulnerability scanning and you are not doing authenticated scanning, now it's a requirement. So make sure if you are not doing that, or if you are doing that, but you're not showing it to the auditor. So this is a good time to get started and make sure all those findings are there. So, but going back to the earlier thing of customized controls. So this is how it is. Previously, what it used to be, you had a PCI requirement, you could not meet it. Okay, you made a compensating control and you would write down, okay, this is the reason I could not do it. And you could document in the compensating control worksheet. So in PCI 4, this option still exists, but there is a new option for customized control. So this is like, it gives you a more strategic way. You're going to say, okay, I cannot meet this control, but I have another control, which is much better, which is equally as better. And this is something it's going to be assessed by the auditor, and it gives you a long-term solution. Compensating control for more short-term. Not all controls are eligible, but if you look at the standard now, literally every standard has a compensating customized control there. So this is something which you really need to focus on. You need to be able to upgrade yourself and think about what they mean. Okay. And one thing is, guys, more focus on responsibilities. Literally at the beginning of each requirement, the statement is there that roles and responsibilities have to be documented, assigned, and understood. So like, even senior management sign off has to be there. So it's very much like what you call documentation is being focused on very much more. Everything has to be formalized. And targeted risk analysis. What is that? Some PCI requirements, they allow you to define how frequently an activity is performed based on the risks of the environment. So you need to have like a proper risk analysis done as per a methodology, do it consistently. And this targeted risk analysis is going to be focused on those PCI DSS requirements, which say how frequently you can do stuff. So this is something, if you are like just doing risk analysis like a very generic way, in a very, what you call, just trying to meet the checklist requirement, just taking a box off, you really need to be focusing more on improving your risk analysis skills, guys. This is very important. Even you can look at for the customized approach, they've given like a template. This is how like you can do the risk analysis for having a customized approach. And the QSA and you need to work out. The QSA is the PC auditor. You're going to need to work together and find out how to meet the requirements. So you can see there's a big focus on risk analysis, risk assessments, and basically improving the quality of your documentation. Okay, how to prepare, guys? If you want my honest opinion, there are just two things I would recommend. First is do a gap assessment today. So you should start implementing these processes today. Reach out to professionals where you feel you get stuck. I would recommend doing a full gap analysis to see where your company is falling, where you can meet the requirement, where you cannot, and what you have to do. So the transition to PCI version 4 is going to take some time. And if you have a structured gap analysis, it'll let you know where you need to focus on. Okay. And the second one is like increase and improve your risk management skills. You're going to have more focus on documentation and risk analysis. And it'll become difficult if your cybersecurity teams do not have experience. I would recommend you invest in training like risk management, certifications at C-Risk, and that will really help your teams to understand these requirements and do a proper risk management processes, risk analysis, and everything. Okay. That will really help you out. And I think that is the things you can focus on the more. First, and that will really help you to make the transition smoother. So I hope that was useful to you guys. Please do like and subscribe to this channel, and this will really help this video to reach the maximum amount of people. And I wish you all the best in your PCI DSS version 4 journey and success in implementing all these new changes and requirements which have come up. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.